Namaste and good morning. I asked the organizing committee why I am the first speaker. I was told that they needed someone very confident. I asked, confident or available? And the silence answered everything. Don't worry, if this goes well, you will remember the talk. If it doesn't, then the next speaker has a tough job. Let me put a disclaimer. Standing ovations are not compulsory, but they are highly encouraged. Please give me a huge round of applause. Look, I need this beforehand because afterwards there is no guarantee. Someone very knowledgeable once told me the best way to address a key gathering is to stand up, speak up, and very quickly wrap up. So what it means is, it will have a good beginning, quick ending, and nothing in between. So precisely, I'm going to do that. 4 लाइन अर्ज किया है आपके लिए. हर पर्वत पर मणि माणिक नहीं होते, हर हाथी के माथे पर मुक्तामणि नहीं होते, हर जंगल में चंदन के पेड़ नहीं होते, और हर देश में ऐसे ऑडियंस नहीं होते. My name is Devi Prasad and I'm not from the Hera Fairy movie. I'm here to share my 2 cents on the topic, the leader before the leader. Let me take you to a classroom, a school in Odisha, a boy sitting quietly on the last bench, not the topper, not the school captain, not the sports captain, not the brightest, not the boldest. In fact, if an award was to be given to him for the most likely student to go unnoticed, I'm sure he would have bagged that award. Ladies and gentlemen, that boy was me. I remember a major exam in my life. I studied, I tried, I wrote with hope. However, when the results came out, I had failed in one subject, a very big failure, a very visible one in one of the most critical exams of my life. I still remember that moment, not the marks, but the silence after it. I didn't want to meet anyone. I didn't want to greet anyone. I didn't want to explain anything to anyone. I just wanted to disappear. I was literally hiding, not only physically, but emotionally as well. Maybe I had believed in a dangerous story saying that you are not good enough. That is where the first battle came to my mind, invisible battle. Not the exams, but the voice inside my head. As you all know, in Indian homes, marks are not just marks. They are like national news. If you do well, celebrate it. If you don't do well, the family emergency meeting is called. Investigation committees are formed. Something happened that evening. My father came home. I still remember the sound of the door opening even today. My heart started racing. I was convinced I was going to get scolded. In fear, I did something very logical at that age. I started hiding under the bed, thinking that this moment will surpass. My father came, he saw, he asked me to come out. I came, I walked with my head lowered and unable to look into his eyes. Then something happened which changed my life. He put his hand on my shoulder and said that, don't worry, take it in writing, one day you will become successful. Failing in one subject does not make you a failure. Failure is the part of life, not the life. Those words echoed in my ears. Those words my heart reached out to those words. And I started believing something powerful. Even before I had a manager, before I had a mentor, before I had a coach, I had my first leader. Not in the workplace, but at home. My father didn't wait for the world to validate me. He saw something in me before I could see myself. Maybe that is what leadership is all about. A leader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. लीडर कौन है? जो कमजोरी को ताकत में तब्दील करता है, राह की बाधा को सफलता का सीढ़ी बनाता है और हार को जीत में तब्दील करता है. My father believed in me. Now it was time for me to believe in myself. So I decided to change something. Not my school, not my marks, not my friends, not my society, but my own mindset. I started running, not because I loved running, because I want to run away from that fact that said, you are not good enough. Every morning I ran, every evening I ran. And something then surely shifted. The boy who failed in silence was now training in silence. अर्ज किया है, जब दुनिया ने कहा तू खास नहीं, जब दुनिया ने कहा तू खास नहीं, मैंने अपने पैरों से जवाब दिया, अभी मेरी कहानी बाकी है और मेरी सांस रुकी नहीं है. Fast forward, one day the district selection committee happened in school, and the students among us, and all of them had name, fame, recognition, medals, certificates. I had hope. I decided to participate in the 100 meters race because that is what I was trying for some time. I was not that great in studies, I was not great in sports, trying to find out a way. How will I get something, so that I'll make my place. And when the race started, the whistle blew. I participated in 100 meters sprinting. I ran first, I came first. I could not believe it, neither the selectors. Then the selector said there will be a rerun. Again the whistle blew. Again I came first. Again they asked there will be a rerun. Maybe they thought it was a false start. Third race, third victory. So 3 races, 3 wins. I was quite hopeful, thinking that I will make it to the selection committee, to the selection list, to be participant in the district athletic level. However, when the name was announced, my name was not there. Someone else was selected. Someone with performance, someone who had a reputation, and had just that 1 win, or the 2 win, or the 3 win in all the 3 races put together. It was very sad for me. I was completely devastated. And something strange happened that day. I started believing maybe sometimes winning is not enough. And at that moment, I asked, if winning is not enough, then what is? That is the time my coach walked in. He didn't explain me. He didn't console me. He just said, you are running 200 meters. I came back home. I shared all the details with my father, the 100 meters, the trials, the rejection, the selection for 200 meters. My father smiled, the same calm smile that he always had. He said, take it in writing. One day you will not only run your own races, but you will run your own path. Those words literally touched my heart. And I started believing in 4 lines. अर्ज किया है, अगर सब कुछ मिल जाएगा जिंदगी में तुम्हें, तो तमन्ना किसकी करोगे? अगर सब कुछ मिल जाएगा तुम्हें, तो तमन्ना किसकी करोगे? कुछ अधूरी ख्वाहिशें तो जिंदगी जीने का मजा देती है. I participated in the 200 meter district race the very next week. I did well. I ran as if it was the last race of my life. I came as district runner-up. There were celebrations, wishes, certificates, medals, and I was on the top of the world. I was extremely happy and elated. While coming back from the stadium to my residence, one thought came to my mind which was beyond medals. What is that life is trying to teach me? And the subconscious mind answered, maybe rejection is not rejection, it's a redirection. When I thought everything is going on well, I got into admission in one of the good institute to pursue my engineering degree, one of the institute of repute. I was on the top of the world. I got admission in one of the best colleges. And when I thought, I have understood life and everything is going on well, then suddenly life changed the question. It started with a small fever. I started taking medicines, taking rest, thinking it will go well and I will get cured soon. However, suddenly I realized that fever has turned out to cerebral malaria, a malaria that affects the brain. My parents took me to several doctors, nearby hospitals, and most of them turned us away saying that it's late. And then my parents, there was panic at home. I was almost getting bedridden. Somehow my parents got a reference of one of the doctors who used to work with a government hospital. I was rushed to that hospital in a different place, different city altogether. I still remember machines speaking, doctors whispering, and parents praying. And the loudest sound was uncertainty. I remember my parents smiling while entering the room and crying while stepping out. And that contradiction stayed with me forever. I still remember that doctor, Dr. Jagdev, who didn't promise anything extraordinary. He just said those two words, let's try, and that became my lifeline. He literally brought me back from the deathbed. I survived after staying in the hospital for a good amount of time, good number of days. I came back. अर्ज किया है 2 लाइन आप लोगों के लिए. एक रात मौत ने दरवाजा खटखटाया और उम्मीद ने कहा अभी कहानी बाकी है. I got cured, got back into the engineering college, and my classes started happening. Unfortunately, life had one more twist. Exactly after 3 months, the malaria relapsed. Again, I had to go to the same hospital, same city, same doctor, same treatment. And this time I had almost missed close to 1 year of my college. So I had two options, either to give the backlogs for the entire year or write the entrance examination again. I decided to go ahead with the entrance examination one more time because I want to get into a new college, new branch, new subject. But I know, I'm sure by now you all know that I have a wonderful luck. I wrote the entrance examination. Again, I got to the same college. The only difference was that the change of branch was there from mechanical to computer science. And I became a junior to my own friends. And that was the most strange thing. For a moment, I felt, what am I doing in life? I was not able to accept it. And the real battle was not outside. The real battle was inside. My ego, my embarrassment, my fear of being judged. And one day, I looked in the mirror and said, stop thinking what you have lost. Start thinking what you can do. That's what I started changing my situation, trying to change my identity. Though it was beyond me, but I thought to go ahead and implement it. आदमी सोच से होता है. आदमी सोच से होता है. इस सृष्टि को बदलना है तो इस दृष्टि को बदलना है. Then the final turn of my life, since I got into as we all know in engineering colleges, the placement comes either in the 6th semester or 7th semester starting, most of the colleges in India, right? So I was gearing up for the placements. By the time I had scored 70% in all the semesters, just trying to show off a little bit that I was also good in studies. So don't take it otherwise. So, and I had a plan of, getting into the placements. However, engineering was my aspiration. When it came to a choice of specialization, I realized it was HR. And I figured out that the industrial sector and the private economy were in vogue, the HR professionals would be in demand. So what I thought, what should I do? I had no MBA, no formal HR education, no industry experience. So it was just a desire. I thought, how do I convert this desire into reality? What I did is in the last year of my engineering college, I thought, let me take something which is close to HR, may not be HR, maybe not directly HR, but indirectly getting into close to that. So I started applying for a part-time job in the final year of my engineering. That is for a sales job. I joined one of the leading educational institutes and helping them in doing some selling activity. I used to do my college from morning 7 to 2, and from evening 4 to 8, I used to do a part-time job in sales. That gave me a good exposure. That gave me an overview about how corporate world happens, it works. Fast forward, almost at the end of 8th semester, I saw an ad in the newspaper saying that BTech MBA with 1 to 2 years experience for an HR opening. Logic said, don't apply. Hope said, apply. Hope spoke louder than logic, so I applied. However, when the results came out, I didn't get any intimation. There was no information. I didn't know whether I've been selected, not selected. Since the company is the same city, I decided to walk in to the company. I met the recruiter. I asked her, any update on my candidature? She smiled and very politely told me, you don't meet the eligibility criteria. Again, I went after 3 days, met another recruiter this time, saying that this is my CV, can I apply for this role? He again smiled and said, don't worry, whenever you have an opening for a BTech fresher, we'll let you know. And then after 7 days, I thought, let me do a change in strategy. I went during the evening time, I met the recruitment manager, and she told me, first of all, by seeing me, why do you keep coming back? I just told her, I don't need a job. You just gauge me whether I'm good enough for a role in HR or not. She smiled and said, okay, I'll do that for you. She interviewed me for 45 minutes. After that, she asked me, can you wait for a couple of more hours? I said, why not? Maybe I was getting some limelight, some hope. Then she scheduled my interaction with the hiring manager based out of US. The hiring manager again spoke to me for another 30 minutes. Finally, the company changed the eligibility criteria from BTech, MBA, 1 year to 2 years experience to BTech fresher getting into HR. That's what happened, my first entry into HR being a BTech graduate. Having said this, I didn't stop learning. I got into a classroom for HR program at XLRI Jamshedpur. I learned at IIM Calcutta. I learned at TISS Mumbai. I am currently doing my PhD in the field of human resource management and have done ample HR certifications in the last 2 decades. I've always believed degree may open the first door for you, but after that it's the learning which opens multiple doors. Degree may get you a seat, but learning will help you to contribute within the room, in that boardroom, in the work that all you are doing. Fast forward, if I have to sum up in terms of my learnings, I detest stagnancy in any facet of life. So I always look for new opportunities which will help me in honing up my skills and face the challenges that is posed by the corporate world. When I failed, someone believed in me. When I lost, someone redirected me. When I was fighting for life, someone refused to give up. And when the world saw an engineer, someone saw an HR leader. And today, when people ask me, what is leadership? I tell them, leadership does not begin when someone starts reporting to you. Leadership begins when someone starts believing because of you. Be that person, be the leader before the leader. Choose resilience over regret. Choose curiosity over certainty. Choose humility over ego. Choose character over recognition and choose truth over doubt. अर्ज किया है, what is truth? Truth in 2 lines. जो पत्थर चोट खाकर टूट जाता है वो कंकर बन जाता है. जो पत्थर चोट खाकर टूट जाता है वो कंकर बन जाता है. जो पत्थर चोट खाकर सह जाता है वो शंकर बन जाता है. When we believe a stone as Lord Shiva, why can't we believe ourselves, the universe, everyone around us? So I believed in the 5 Ds which helped me in overcoming. First D is for dream, second is for desire, third is for dedication, fourth is for discipline, and fifth is for determination. I'll now end my speech in last 4 lines saying that जिंदगी के उड़ान अभी बाकी है, जिंदगी के उड़ान अभी बाकी है, जिंदगी के कई इम्तिहान अभी बाकी है, अभी तो थामी है मुट्ठी भर जमीन हमने, अभी तो सारा आसमान बाकी है. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you. Thank you.